Back to work after a Thursday night game. Looking forward to our next opponent here at home. Just players locked in, had a chance to go through the film, really evaluate the highs and lows of that last game. As we always kind of come in no matter what on a Monday, digest that, learn from it, right, and then have a clear vision as we move forward in the week of how to get better.
With that said, do you plan on making any notable changes either to the offensive line, coaching staff, the depth chart in general?
We're still evaluating, the lineups. There are no coaching changes. Still evaluating the lineup, and talking about, how is it a rotation thing? Do we want to rotate some guys more or less, or make any changes? Honestly, those discussions are every week because we do feel good about, some positions where we have some depth, and you want to get a chance to get a look at guys who you think are playing at a high level, not just to get a look at them, but you think can play winning football, and give guys opportunities.
Just to be clear, does that mean Thomas will continue to call the offense?
No, I have not totally, dialed that in. Pretty much what, as I've said, we've been collaborative in much of what we do. I'm still evaluating the whole thing, and so, and how it actually is going to function or not. But
is there a chance you might be more collaborative than you have been the last few weeks?
I'm really just thinking the whole thing through. First of all, however we've done the play calling, who's ever been doing the play calling, we haven't performed as an offense. So let me just make that point clear, first of all. As I look towards, now the last half of the season, what's the best dynamic and why? Any decision that's ultimately made is just going to be based on that one pure factor. So that's how we'll approach it.
Frank, with that said, we've seen you hold yourself accountable with play calling and stuff like that. What's your approach generally to a player or a coach that might be underperforming from an accountability standpoint?
Oh, we have, in our meetings on Monday, we show the tape, and that we let the tape talk, but those things are just in there. I would never in a million years come to a press conference and say, hey, we held this guy accountable, we held that guy accountable. Those are all in-house things. And, listen, for us as coaches and players, it's just probably strange to maybe some, but we love that part of it. You have to embrace being challenged. You have to embrace being held accountable, because ultimately, it pushes you to be better as a coach or a player. And we're trying to be the best in the world at something. And right now, we're not playing good football on offense in particular. So that's going to mean holding, like I helped and talked to the guys about. I talked again about that fourth down call. For instance, I should have, so I told the guys why I can hold myself accountable in front of you guys. I don't care about me holding myself accountable with you guys, but that's why I tell the team, here's why we should have gone forward, and we can talk to each other in there, because anything goes in there, because we're all obsessed with getting better and we all want to win. So because of that, we're willing to hold each other accountable and push each other.
Do you believe that verbal accountability over action is something that works a little bit better?
I believe it's a lot of things. I believe there is something to verbal accountability that you got to stand up, own the mistake. But then there needs, you need to show action. You need to show evidence that you've learned from your mistake. So you need both.
Speaking of, the offense has done poorly, but the defense has still performed well. Can you talk about the job that Easier on that group have done through this dry spell?
Yeah, Jero and the defensive staff, the unit has done a very nice job. Playing really good team defense, very consistent, playing together. Very happy with what the defense is doing, and need to keep doing it. This week obviously be a big challenge with the Cowboys and high-powered offense, coming into this stadium. So it'll be a great challenge for our defense.
What would it mean to get, say, Jaycee back and getting other people back, Burnsby back? How is not having Jaycee impacted this defense overall?
Well, I think the guys have done a good, obviously you miss Jaycee a lot. I mean, the guy is a great player and, love his attitude, great teammate. But he's a high-quality player. Now, I think the guys have played really well. I think the secondary has played very well in his absence. Dante Jackson had a particularly good game this last week. Boodle made a couple nice plays. The safeties, Vaughn and Xavier both played well. So, we'll just, we'll continue to take it from there. But this is one of the advantages of, you get a lot of guys hurt, which is a bad thing. Then you get guys who step up and play well. Now when those other guys get back healthy, you have a better team.
Frank, in talking about that accountability piece, when you talk through tape with Bryce, how does he sort of process that? And what's it like talking through at a granular level with him, the things that went well, the things that went poorly?
Well, some of that should just be between us in the room. I will just say this as a general statement. He is very hard on himself, like all the best players I've ever been around. They're all extremely hard on themselves. I mean, extremely hard on themselves, almost to a fault. Like you have to say, no, that wasn't your fault. We should have helped you out with that, or that guy needed to make that play, or we needed to make that block or that catch. But no, Bryce is, the first thing he's going to say is, I got to be better, and it's real. So that's what you need from your leaders. That they're hard on themselves, but they still have that positive outlook and confidence that they know they're the best in the world. So you don't want to just be hard on yourself all the time and then not have the confidence to overcome it. And that's what I see in talking to Bryce. I hear him take accountability, but I see and feel the confidence in his voice that, hey, we're going to get that right.
Frank, you've referenced before that, even some of the best quarterbacks have struggled as a rookie. How does he kind of balance that long-term development versus today sort of mentality?
I think, having the perspective of, the historical perspective of rookie quarterbacks can be a backdrop to understand and give a little perspective, but we're primarily going to be driven by the results that we're seeing now, and we should. But sometimes the historical perspective and understanding the struggles of a lot of great quarterbacks over a long time can help just give me, okay, I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm not real happy right now. We all have to get better, but I understand that, I'm not alone here. Okay, there's some pretty good people, alongside me that have had some similar struggles, and so that maybe gives us all just a little bit more, okay, it's not an excuse because we all are very driven to get it right, just like he is, we all are.
Frank, on Bryce, why have we seen him so seldom work under center? And seems like there would be some benefits to that, especially like where play action is concerned.
That's just that is a philosophical question, that I could say there are some benefits from being under center. You just have to weigh in the overall picture, the pros and cons of that move. We do feel like, we run some pistol, and I do think pistol complements being under center. Is it the exact same? No, it's not the exact same. Is play action a little bit better under center than his pistol? Probably a little bit better. But then we think there's some other advantages from being in gun. We do want to be a mix. We do want to have a little bit of under center. We don't, we're going to mostly be in gun. That's mostly who we'll be. That's what Bryce has been good at his whole life. He had 2% of his snaps in college were 1 or 2% were under center. We have introduced that. He does do it. He does feel comfortable doing it. There's no problems doing it. But as we continue to develop what we're doing as an offense, for right now, it's just going to be a smaller part.
Go ahead.
Sorry. With that said, it does benefit Bryce in theory with philosophy, but do you think that you have the tools around him that can benefit from that as well?
Yeah, and it just goes to, and again, I don't want to, say everything that we're trying to do schematically, but in the big picture, I will say this: we want to be a physical football team who can run the ball on their own terms. Do we want to be smash mouth football, under center, power? No, that's not who we're trying to be. We're not trying to be that. So, but there are other ways to be very physical and dominant from the gun, running a lot of different things but it's just not that smash mouth power football.
Is
Frank,
his stature part of the reason you have him in Pittsburgh?
No, some of it is, hey, do what your players do best, and he's really good from the shotgun. And it allows him, as we continue to develop, RPO stuff. When you're under center, that stuff, it's non-existent. But he's good at. He can get the ball out quick and accurate. We haven't been as productive in some of those areas as we want to be, and we got to continue to work on that. But that's one of the advantages of him being in gun. It does bring an element to the run game on some of the RPO stuff that you don't have from under center.
Frank Herbstreit said after the game, he called the game Thursday night, that you just don't have the players to run the offense that you want to run with Bryce. Is there an element of truth to that? And if so, how far away are you from having that?
Yeah, no, we have, listen, I love our play. We have all the players we need to win football games. Are we always evolving and developing as an offense? Yes, of course. So with the vision that we have for our offense this year, we don't need anybody else. We got winning receivers. We got winning, we have to just play winning football. And that starts with me. I have to do a better job as a head coach getting our offense playing more consistently to win football games, okay? But when I look at our groups, at our position groups, and I look at our opponents, I see opportunities to win. I see, we call plays, I watch tape, and when I watch the tape, I see plenty of evidence that we are making winning plays. Are we doing it consistently enough? No, we're not doing it consistently enough. Do we have the playmakers to win football games? Absolutely, we have the playmakers. Will the offense continue to evolve and adapt? Yes, it will continue to evolve and adapt. As over the years, as players are added, and you highlight whatever players do best. So I think all those things can be true.
Alex, you have one last question?
Frank, speaking about the Cowboys specifically, you kind of addressed this in your previous answer, but what kind of change in preparation happens when you're going against a team that is red hot, that has Super Bowl aspirations? Just generally speaking, you preach, we don't change our preparation, but does anything change when you're going against such a high caliber team like the Cowboys?
Yes, I think what you're saying, Alex, is exactly true. There's a both and. What changes is the matchups change and the schemes change that you're going against. So you're exactly right. From that aspect, it changes in how we game plan and approach it. I would think if you talk to most of the players, they might not admit it, but when you're going up against a hot team, guys, it's an opportunity. Things have not been going well for us as a team. So it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity to go up and prove that we're a good football team. We beat one good football team, but we need to beat another good football team. So we'll all get ready to play a good one this week. This team is hot. They have a lot of firepower on offense. They have some big-time playmakers on defense. They're good in all three phases. They're a well-coached team, and they got a lot of firepower. So it's a great challenge for us, and I think our coaching staff and our players are excited for that.
Thanks,
Frank,
Coach.
would you mind giving us an update on Burns, Henderson, and Sharp?
Burns and Henderson are doing well in the protocol. I'm optimistic. You can't ever know for sure with those things, but I'm optimistic. And DJ, I think, is making good progress. I would anticipate good news with him this week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent. Thank you.